Are you still waiting? The right moment, a miracle, or someone coming to help you? Let me be honest with you. No one will come. Not tomorrow. Not when you're ready. Not when the stars are aligned. And you know what? That's the best news you could ever hear. Because it means that it all starts with you. If this message resonates with you, subscribe now and tell me in the comments. What decision have you been refusing to make for too long? We're going to talk straight. We're going to talk action, and we're going to stop waiting. 1. The silence of waiting. How long have you been there, frozen in wait? Not still, no, you move, you live, but without really moving forward. You do things, of course. You check boxes, you fill days. But deep down, you know that you wait. What exactly are you waiting for? The wind is changing? Someone is calling you? That fear evaporates by itself? You wait until you feel ready. But that day never comes, not really. You say you want more, but you're living on standby. Every morning is like the last. You push back, you fear, you reason. You say it's not the right time, that it will be tomorrow. And meanwhile, life passes by you like a non-stop train. It's not that you don't have dreams. You have some, even very big ones. But you keep them like fragile objects in a mental display case. You look at them without ever daring to touch them. You were taught patience, yes, but not the difference between wait and freeze. You think waiting is wisdom, when it often becomes an excuse. And meanwhile, opportunity never stops. She gives herself to those who move forward, even clumsily, not for those hoping for perfect indoor weather. You feel that weight, don't you? That emptiness between what you could be and what you are today. There is nothing heavier than unexpressed potential. Nothing is more cruel than feeling that you are forgetting yourself in your own history. So here it is. Where did I lie to you the right time? It doesn't exist. What you're waiting for may never happen, but you are already here. And every day you let go is a day a part of you falls asleep, slowly, silently, until you no longer wake up. 2. Fear in disguise. You say you're still thinking. You say you take your time, that you want to weigh the pros and cons carefully. But let's be honest, you're going around in circles. You call that wisdom. You disguise it as a strategy. You give it respectable names: prudence, maturity, preparation. But actually, do you know what it is? Of fear. Yes, that fear. The one you don't dare name. Fear of failure, of course. But above all, the fear of success. Because once you get started, there are no more excuses, no more hiding places. Until you decide, you stay in that comfortable in-between zone. You don't lose anything. But you don't win anything either. You think you're saving time? You're wasting it. You think you're saving yourself from risk? You're distancing yourself from your own life. And while you keep repeating the same thoughts over and over again, the world isn't waiting for you. He moves forward. He chooses those who dare to do wrong rather than think well endlessly. There are people less competent than you who have already launched their project, less brilliant minds that are already on the move, because they understood something that you are still avoiding. Clarity does not come before the decision. She comes after. Do you want to be sure? Do you want guarantees? You won't have one, never. The only thing you can have is a decision, clear, clean, even wobbly, but taken. Because until you decide, you live in a fantasy world. A world where you could, you should, you might. But this world doesn't pay. It doesn't build anything. He rocks you gently, while your life slips through your fingers. So ask yourself this. Do you still think? Where are you hiding? 3. The unexpected hero. You might imagine, somewhere in the hazy future, that one day someone will come, someone who will understand your inner fire, someone who will see your potential and help you unlock it. A mentor, an investor, a trigger. But no one will come and hand you that ladder. No one will come up for you. You are the one you've been waiting for. The hero you want, it's you. And it's not far. It's just behind the decision you're putting off. Look at the people you admire, the successes you observe from afar. Do you think they were lucky? That fate chose them? You see the summit, but you ignore the loneliness of the first steps. They didn't start with any more certainty. They did not wait for a divine signal to designate them. They decided. One day, without guarantees, without promises. And that decision changed their lives. They acted in the dark. They moved forward with doubts, fears, and trembling. More, they moved forward. The world doesn't applaud the one who waits. The world responds to whoever moves, not because he's special, but because he dared choose himself. And you? Do you choose yourself? Or are you still hoping that someone else will spot you, validate you, reassure you? Understand well, control does not return when fear disappears. Control returns when you accept that nothing and no one will come to save you. And that's very good, because at that precise moment, you take back the reins. You rise, not by an external ladder, but because you yourself lay the first step. And suddenly, what you expected from the world, you find it in yourself. 4. You move or you switch off. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have read 20 books. You don't need to wait for a cosmic green light. You need to decide, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, now. Do you want the raw truth? Imperfect action beats flat seams with brilliant but fixed thought, an idea, even a brilliant one, without movement. It's fog. A dream without gesture. It's just a high-end illusion. You can think for 10 years, analyze, anticipate, draw all possible scenarios. But if you don't do nothing, you don't live nothing. And meanwhile, someone with half as much talent, half as many resources, launches and move forward. Because he understood what you fear. It's not the one who knows the most who wins. This is the one who dares, despite what he ignores. As long as you stay still, you are your own break. Not your past, not your situation, you. What you refuse to do today, this is what will continue to suffocate you tomorrow. And you know it. You feel it. Every step you don't take becomes a burden. Every doubt not faced becomes a chain. Do you think it's risky to act without understanding everything? But staying there, waiting, that's it, the real danger. So no, don't try to have everything ready. Don't clean the floor before learning to walk. Don't invent reasons to stay frozen. Make a move, just one, and you will see. The world is not waiting for you. More he answers to the one who decides to move. 5. The men who said yes. There is one thing books don't teach you, one thing that history whispers but few hear. The builders, the visionaries, the pioneers did not wait. They didn't raise their hands. They didn't ask permission. They stood up, and they said, I'm going. Look at Andrew Carnegie. He wasn't born with a fortune. He built it. Not because someone reached out to him, but because he dared to extend his towards the invisible. Look at Henry Ford. He was told that his engine was impossible. Its engineers failed, then failed again. And he? He simply told them, go on. Not because he had the evidence, but because he had the decision. And Edison, how many times did he fail before inventing what the world today calls obvious? He wasn't looking for the light. He created it. What did they have in common? An inner fire that didn't require anyone's approval. They didn't wait to be told, go ahead. They were their own green light. And this fire also exists in you. But he sleeps if you don't call him. It wilts if you don't feed it. The world you live in today. It is built by people who decided before it was reasonable, before it was popular, before it's the right time. They didn't have all the answers. But they had one certainty in their hearts. I don't need to be chosen. I choose myself. And you? You look at their story, but you forget that yours is being written, and that the question the world is waiting for, it's not, what will you learn? But, well, what are you going to decide? 6. Burn the bridge. Imagine yourself on a cliff. Behind you, a suspension bridge. Fragile, wobbly, but still there. This is your plan B, your escape, your carefully preserved excuse. In case. You move forward, but never too far. You dare, but never everything. Because deep down, you know that if it gets too hard, you can always turn around. It's time to burn this bridge, not for show, but for what it means. Cut the rope. Let go of the version of yourself that still doubts, the one who pretends to be ready, but keeps one foot in flight. You can no longer move forward with one hand on the exit handle. You can no longer build a solid life with foundations made of maybes. We'll see if it works. Every day spent hesitating, it's one less brick in the building of what you could become. Every second you procrastinate, you allow your past to pull you towards it. And he will do it, again and again, until you cut this rope. Do you think that's radical? It is necessary. Real transformation doesn't happen with an emergency parachute. It happens when you jump. When you choose the front, not as an option, but as the only way out. It's no longer a matter of trying. It is about engaging you. Body, heart, consciousness. There is no more room for hesitation. Hesitation is polite evasion, a gilded prison where one dies slowly, standing up. Burn the bridge. Watch the smoke rise and move on. What you are looking for is ahead, never behind. 7. The proof is in the action. You say you believe. You say you want to. You say you're ready. But your faith is not heard. It is not reflected in your statements, nor in your good intentions. It shows in your hands. You can proclaim loudly that you have a dream, but if your actions do not support it, your subconscious hears, I'm not serious. The truth, faith is not a word, it is a movement. And that movement can be tiny. A written word. A call was made, an idea launched. But he must exist, not tomorrow, not after thinking again. Today. Do you want to write this book? Start with a sentence, just one, but that it exists. Do you want to change your life? Don't try to turn everything upside down. Decides on a change, only one, and commit to respecting it, even silently. Because faith, the true one, does not need to be created to be real. It is embodied in action, even if timid. She lives in the small steps taken without witnesses. Great things don't always start with a bang. They are sometimes born in a breath. In this moment when, without saying anything to anyone, you take the first step. And that's where everything changes. Not because the world saw it, but because you did it. You have honored your faith by gesture, and this gesture, however discreet it may be, say to your mind, I'm on the move, and this time I'm not turning back. 8. Your mind listens to you. You may think your mind is passive, that it's just a thought machine, a cloud of thoughts that come and go. But no, your mind is listening to you. He watches everything you do. He records, he learns, he concludes, and he's not fooled by what you say. A truth is formed from what you repeat. When you say, I'm going to change, but you don't move, he notes, what he says doesn't matter. When you promise to act tomorrow, again, he concludes, it's not serious.
Little by little, your subconscious begins to doubt you, and this doubt is not an abstraction, it is an internal fracture. You become the kind of person who talks loudly but makes little progress. You say a lot, but you grow weaker with every silence after your own words. But listen to me carefully. It is not irreversible. Every time you say, I do it, and you do it, even if it's tiny, even if it's imperfect, your mind wakes up. He raises his head. He begins to believe you again. And then something magical happens. Your subconscious mind starts to collaborate. It doesn't hold you back anymore. He no longer doubts. He becomes your most powerful ally. He pushes you, he aligns you. He opens paths for you where you thought there were none. But it doesn't start with big decisions. It starts with alignment between what you say and what you do. So next time you say, I will do it, even if it's bad, even if it's small, because every gesture validates your identity, and every validation strengthens your spirit, and when your own mind believes in you, nothing can stop you anymore. 9. The movement oath. You're not just going to listen, not this time. You go say, you go embody. Because words, when spoken with conviction, are no longer just sounds. They become orders sent to your body, standing, nothing around you, just you, your voice, your breath. Close your eyes if you want. Open them if you prefer. More be there, whole, present, and repeat with me, not gently, with strength, with weight, with will. I don't ask anymore. I decide. I'm moving, again, louder, as if you were calling out to a version of yourself that's been waiting too long. I'm not backing down anymore. I move forward. I'm not going back. Let these words flow through your chest. Make them resonate like a drum in your ribcage, because they're not there to sound good. They are there to remind your mind who's in charge. What you say with conviction, you begin to believe. What you believe, you begin to embody. And what you embody transforms your reality. Once again, not for me, for you, for your word, for your spine. I don't ask anymore. I decide. I move. I'm not going back anymore. I'm moving forward. I'm not going back. You don't need to be ready anymore. You need to be real. And now you have just taken the biggest step. You chose yourself. Out loud. The real trigger. What you're looking for. That famous click you talk about so often. It will not come from the sky. It will not fall like a mystical light, nor like a voice that will say to you, it's time. It won't look like a movie scene, with the music rising, the clouds that open, and an invisible force that pushes you. None. The real trigger is silent, brutal, unexpected. He arrives in an empty room, in an ordinary evening, in a look that you take at yourself, without filter, without lies, and in that look, there's a confession. Enough. I'm tired of waiting. Enough doubting, enough postponing, enough surviving, no shouting, no applause, just one choice, clear, raw, irreversible. You finally say what you refused to say, I'm ready.
I'm not waiting for anyone anymore. I build. And it's not a slogan. This is not a nice phrase for Instagram. It is an invisible border that you cross. Before, you were the observer, the spectator of your own life, the one who wanted but always expected a little more. And then, suddenly, you become the author, the one who writes, the one who decides, the one who chooses himself. The real trigger is not a miracle. It's a straight look in the mirror and a calm voice that says, it's over, I'll take charge. You feel like something has just moved, not around you, in you. And what do you do after that moment? This is not a sequel. It's a commencement. This is not the beginning of a dream. It is the end of an illusion. No one will come to save you. And that's it, your freedom.